Hi guys, this is Mike from my private library. Happy New Year to you all. I still haven't quite finished Thud by Terry Pratchett. I wanted to get it done by the end of the year, but I didn't. So hopefully today or tomorrow will be done. I guess that'll be my first book of 2015. But in the meantime, I guess what wound up being my last book of 2014 was Beautiful You by Chuck Palahniuk. I got it for Christmas, and it's something I was looking forward to a lot. I wanted to go out and grab it when it first came out in, I think it was October it was originally released, but I didn't. I waited. But like I said, I was very much looking forward to it because I am such a huge fan of Palahniuk. Um, Survivor and Invisible Monsters are some of my favorite books of all time. I also like Lullaby and Diary. But yeah, I've read basically all the fiction he's put out, so I waited and I had really high hopes for this, and by the end of it, I was a little disappointed. It's hard for me to put my finger on what exactly I didn't like about it. It was, just to give an indication, usually with Palahniuk's books, if I show you, let me see. Whenever I Whenever I grab my quotes from the books, I usually mark the pages from where I got them. So, like, if you can see, I have all these little marks in these two books, top and bottom. And from a good Palahniuk book, I don't have my copy of Survivor. Someone took it, but my copy of Survivor is basically almost double in size because so many pages are folded in half. And with this one, I got two quotes out of the entire book, which is very, very weird. It was very plot driven, and the plot was weird enough that okay, you could read this without the cover on, and you could read this and just know, okay, this has got to be a Chuck Palahniuk book because the plot is so weird and convoluted and messed up. It's got to be his, but it's lacking like that. It's very plot driven. There's not a lot of character thought that's very original or very groundbreaking for him. He does say a lot. Um, a lot of it's about feminism and women power and fulfillment issues, but it's nothing revolutionary and it's nothing even really that good. I mean, I know he did an interview I think back in June or something when he was talking about like his take on feminism. I know he got into he he got a lot of heat for some stuff he said about women's issues versus men issues, and I think it kind of shows up in the book. It's just I went into this with such high hopes, and I was just very disappointed. Um, I read it again for the plot because it was silly and typically weird and disturbing, but there was no spark to it. Nothing that made it stand out. It was almost as if he could have switched something up or maybe focused on the main character Penny's thoughts more. He says a lot, but it's nothing original. It's stuff that's been peddled to us already. Nothing with like typical Palahniuk spin on it. But yeah, the basic plot is this girl Penny. She's like a low-level intern at a law firm who winds up literally running into this guy. He's one of the richest guys in the world, and it turns out that he has plans to create a line of sex toys that are so powerful and stimulating that the women who use them are basically left useless. Their entire lives become devoted to these sex toys. And it's supposed to be like I guess a tale of female empowerment and stuff, but it just doesn't feel like that. It's supposed I don't know. This book really kind of disappointed me in a couple ways, and it's hard for me to talk about why. This is a weird video. So yeah, if you're a fan of Palahniuk and you just want to read it for completeness sake, go pick it up. But I wouldn't rush for it. It's all the waiting and all the hype. I was very disappointed. I guess to me, it reminded me like of Pygmy and Tell-All, which were both kind of plot-driven, not a lot of character. And I know people, I've read stuff online, reviews, people who absolutely hated Pygmy and Tell-All. I'm assuming if they hated those books, they will not like this. Me, I didn't hate them. They weren't my favorite Palahniuk books, but I got through them. And I actually thought Pygmy was kind of funny, a little quirky, but definitely not typical Palahniuk, zing. So yeah, overall, I was disappointed by this, which I feel bad because it is Palahniuk and I have loved some of his other stuff. So I guess it's really just waiting to see what he does next. I think next, if it's scheduled right, the next book he has out should be the final book in the Damned and Doomed trilogy, unless he has something else coming out first. I'm not sure. But after that, I guess we'll see, because I did like Doomed, which came out right before this, but that was part of a series. So yeah, overall, definitely not Palahniuk's best work. It's down there, with Pygmy and Tell-All. So I guess depending on how you thought of those books, that's probably what you're going to think of this book, because it's definitely not his best work. So yeah, sorry. So yeah, I guess in a couple of days, I'll have a review up for Thud. I might do a video today. I finally got in the last package from Barnes & Noble from my Black Friday and Cyber Monday purchases. So I have a bunch of new omnibuses to show off, and then in a couple weeks, hopefully, or probably less than a couple weeks, I'll have another comic book video describing my new haul. It's all stuff that I purchased in the last week or so from my local comic shop and in-stock trades. I went a little overboard this year, so it's going to be a huge haul video. And after that, I don't know exactly what I'm going to be doing for comics, because I think by the time all is said and done, my bookshelves are going to be completely filled, and I will have no more room for comics. But there are still omnibuses out there that I want that are coming out in April and May. So yeah, I guess we just have to play it by ear and see what happens. So yeah, Happy New Year, keep reading, like, subscribe, check out the Tumblr, myprivatelibrary.tumblr.com. Happy New Year.